Moving on now, the Supreme Court has warned the Rivers State government against building any structure on the demolished property of the Bayelsa State government in Port Harcourt. We're bringing up the motion ex parte for an injunction earlier filed by Bayelsa State government. The Supreme Court said it would not be able to go ahead with the motion because of the counter affidavit filed in opposition to the motion on notice by Rivers State. Now, the Supreme Court adjourned the substantive matter to 15th January 2024 for hearing. It said the Rivers State government stands to forfeit any such building once the judgment is against them. But the court also cautioned the Rivers State Attorney General against carrying out any further acts that would affect the interest of the parties, since the matter is now before the Supreme Court. Well, as you may know, the Rivers State government demolished Bayelsa State government's properties at number 5 and 9 Akasa Street in Old GRA Port Harcourt 2 weeks ago. And Governor Wike said the demolished buildings were against his administration's urban renewal plans. Well, on Monday, Governor Wike flagged off the construction of the second phase of residential quarters for judges on the demolished site. Well, many have viewed this as a political move against the Bayelsa State's governor, Doye Diri, who supported the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. But Governor Wike says it's not so. From that now, days after youths were paraded over Drogomoku Community Ogba Egbema Doni local government area of Rivers State, the Chief Intelligence Officer of Onelga Security Peace and Advisory Council, OSPAC, Chinedu Amadike, has explained why OSPAC opted for this approach. Now, as you may know, at least 29 youths were flogged as they were paraded 4 days ago over drug abuse. The youths who were arrested in different locations within the community, the youths were arrested in different locations within the community. Now, a video of the parade showed them walking while tied together. They were made to chant a song against drug abuse as they walked around the community.
These were the men that were caught smoking in Kurumini eyes.
Well, the OSPAC Chief Intelligence Officer explains why they adopted what he called naming and shaming approach.
We have tried to see how we can control our youth. We'll be struggling with them, catching them, taking them to police. We'll find out that is not working. To send them to police without being disgraced like this, they will just release them, maybe take some money and release them. They continue where they come from, smoking eyes, taking other kind of drug. So now we have a new OSPAC chairman. So maybe she will not agree to do it next time.
He, however, cautioned against drugs that youths have ruined their lives due to drug abuse.
When you see a son that their child, their boy child, sometimes they will get more worse than most of them are afraid. Most of them are afraid.
Illegal markets and motor parks. Mr. Leke Nigeria Times Morning News today said the task force is needed to ensure
the activities and behavior of people. That's simple truth. Apart from the drivers, mostly Nigerians, we are that kind of people that we don't intend have it as a necessity or a duty to always obey order. It is also important that we have people that we monitor some of our.
He claimed that road users are responding positively to the results of the task force, but he said the major challenge of the anti-street trading task force is the lack of a proper structure.
The issues we have is just actually the issue of how they do their work. It's actually structural issues. The way they structure whether employment or the people they engage or something, is actually the problem they have. So if they can come back and arrange the thing the way it's supposed to be, I think there's no problem about that.
Recall that the chairman of the Rivers State Task Force on Street Trading, Illegal Markets and Motor Parks, Felix Wandibe, told our correspondents that the task force suspended operations over management issues. Well, the task force has now resumed operations, and Mr. Felix promised to ensure they carry out their duties professionally. Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, the Senate President Ahmad Lawan has denied joining the race for the Senate presidency. Senator Lawan, in a statement, said he did not declare to contest for the next Senate presidency seat, and he has not held a meeting with anybody regarding that. Well, Senator Lawan, a former majority leader, was elected as the Senate president in 2019 after enjoying the backing of the APC for the position. But the APC has now selected a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, as its choice for Senate President, and the senator representing Kano North District, Barau Jibrin, as the Deputy Senate President. In the meantime, members of the Federal Executive Council, FEC, are in the council chamber of the Presidential Villa in Abuja for the start of its valedictory session, chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and all 44 ministers and ministers of state are physically in attendance. The President will begin by swearing in 7 federal commissioners of the Revenue, Mobilization, Fiscal and Allocation Commission, RMFAC, where President Buhari is also expected to officially dissolve the cabinet. A former British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, has expressed his readiness to support the incoming administration of the President-elect, Bola Tinubu. He gave the commitment when he visited the President-elect at the Defense House in Abuja. He said the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, which he founded, would be a willing partner of the Tinubu administration, especially in prioritizing its goals and delivery. A Nigerian YouTuber based in the UK, MD Tiamiyu, says he was misunderstood following a public outcry over his comments in a BBC interview on Nigerian students moving to the UK. He spoke in a video chat.
I am sorry for whoever is feeling disturbed. I feel 10 times because there's nothing in this life that is more painful than being misunderstood. To be honest, I have a lot of testimonies of people that I have helped, and I'm not going to stop because of this negative energy. Information that I'm privileged to know, I don't hoard it. So I share this content, and I have actually helped even beyond Nigerians. I have Zimbabweans, I have Malawians, Ghanaians, Cameroonians, even people who don't enter UK who just don't feel comfortable and they want to move somewhere else. So I don't understand why I'm being dragged for somebody that is trying to stop people's opportunity.
Well, Mr. Tiamiyu said the cost of school fees for postgraduate programs in the United Kingdom clearly explains that Nigerians are not going to the UK for just education.
The UK is not heaven, let's be honest. No Nigerian needs a £15,000 master's degree. You know, the school fees regime and how much the British government enjoys that. The probing was now like, so if people cannot afford that amount of money, what is the motivation? I don't know. I would have to find a balance between being real and being diplomatic. Because if you want to be real, you would offend people.
Now, as you may know, many Nigerians felt displeased with the BBC interview of the YouTuber who said that many students moving to the UK are not looking for new degrees but to start a new life abroad. Well, some say he has ruffled the chances of those who genuinely planned to study in the UK. Others also described him as a clout chaser who was seeking popularity. Well, it followed measures by the UK government aimed at international students, including a ban on some family members. Under the new proposals, only PhD students will be able to bring dependents to the UK. Overseas, students will be prevented from switching out of the student routes into work routes before their studies have been completed. Still ahead, new chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum emerges. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Kwara State Governor Abdulrazak Abdurrahman has emerged as the new chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum. Well, this is contained in a press statement issued by his chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakaye, this morning. The governor, among others, pledged to uphold the ideals and vision of the NGF as a most credible, authoritative, influential, and effective inter-party platform for consensus building and peaceful resolution and advancement of pan-Nigeria goals, interests, and aspirations. The chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, in Rivers State, Alex Agwanwo, says NLC under his watch will negotiate with the incoming administration to ensure that public schools in the state are given adequate attention. But Mr. Agwanwo said this when the executive of Class 97 Community Secondary School, ALU, paid him a courtesy visit in his office in Port Harcourt.
With the grace of God, I will not disappoint them. On behalf of the association, I will make sure that my office will also advance the cause of the association. Members who are yet to identify with the class will also make sure that I put the best of the class and the school, Amata, in general.
The Nigeria Governors Forum (NGF) says the federal government has agreed to immediately stop further deductions from the accounts of states to meet local government councils' London Paris Club obligations. In a communique signed today at the end of the 7th emergency meeting of the Nigeria Governors Forum held on Tuesday, outgoing chairman and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal said the Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, who disclosed the decision of the federal government to him, has also resolved that monies so far deducted be paid back to the states. In business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has resumed oil drilling in Borno State. The NNPC resumed drilling after it stopped drilling in Wadi B, located in Jere local government area of Borno State in 1995, because it was reported then that successes were weak and findings made during the period were not in commercial quantity. Well, at the presidential flag-off of the Wadi B drilling campaign by President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday in Borno State, NNPC's Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari said the company hopes to bring prosperity to the people through the elimination of energy poverty currently threatening Africa's biggest economy. In entertainment, Afrobeat star Seun Kuti has been released from police custody after meeting his bail conditions. His lawyer, Adeyinka Olumide Fosika, confirmed that he was released around 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Mr. Kuti will be at the Magistrates Court today for the proceeding, which was adjourned to receive the Director of Public Prosecution's advice. In sports, Valencia have been sanctioned with a partial stadium closure for 5 matches following the racist abuse of Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. Spanish police have detained 3 people in connection with the abuse. Valencia was also fined €45,000.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
The leader of South Africa's third largest political party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, says he will supply weapons to Russia because Moscow is in a war with imperialism. In an interview with the BBC in Johannesburg, Mr. Malema insisted that South Africa is an ally of Russia and that the ANC government's position of non-alignment only applied to the war in Ukraine. Well, the EFF also wants South Africa to withdraw from the International Criminal Court, ICC. On the news this afternoon, you heard that the Supreme Court has stopped Rivers State government from building of the state government. Governor Nyesom Wike has endorsed Senator Godswill of Senate President. OSPAC has defended the parading of 29 youths over drug abuse in Omko. The UK has banned foreign students from bringing their spouses and children. And on the foreign scene, the leader of South Africa's opposition party, Julius Malema, says he will supply weapons to Russia. The news was edited by Martha Okere Nkem. Mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Constance Mega. Thank you for listening. Coming up next is The Sunny Side. To stay tuned.
On the #1 talk station.
You get a daily dose of